From the Big Bang to now, the evolution of our universe.
Approximately 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was condensed into a single infinitely small point. Every piece of matter found in our universe today was at one point together in that compressed state. This wasn't an object or a location within space. It was the entirety of the universe packed into a single point. Then, in an event called the Big Bang, the singularity began to expand rapidly outward. Despite the name, it wasn't an explosion, but rather a rapid expansion. The Big Bang marked the beginning of the universe, creating time and space. There was no before this moment because time as you knew it didn't exist.
A fraction of a second after the Big Bang, the universe had doubled in size 90 times. This rapid expansion was known as the inflationary period or cosmic inflation.
In those first moments, the universe was extraordinarily hot and dense. Over time, as it expanded, it began to cool. During these initial fractions of a second, tiny particles called quarks and gluons emerged. These particles combined to form protons and neutrons, the building blocks of atoms. A few 100,000 years later, the universe cooled enough for these particles to combine with electrons, forming the first atoms, primarily hydrogen and helium. With the creation of hydrogen and helium came the first stars, masses of gas clumped together, becoming more massive and increasing their gravitational force, which attracted even more gas. Eventually, these clumps collapsed in on themselves, forming stars. At this point in the universe, there were only stars, as no elements necessary for making planets or other celestial bodies were yet present. However, in the core of stars, temperatures were so high that hydrogen and helium fused into heavier elements like carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. These elements, known as the building blocks of life, were formed through the process of nuclear fusion. As stars burned through their fuel, they became cosmic factories, creating heavier and heavier elements up to iron in their cores. When massive stars ran out of fuel, they ended their lives in spectacular explosions called supernovae. These explosions release immense amounts of energy, scattering the elements formed in stars' cores throughout the universe. The intense heat and pressure of the supernova also allowed for the creation of elements heavier than iron, such as gold, silver, and uranium. The materials scattered by these stellar explosions didn't go to waste. Over millions of years, gravity pulled together clouds of gas and dust containing these elements. These clumps eventually formed new stars surrounded by disks of material that combined into planets, moons, asteroids, and comets. This is how our solar system came to be about 4.6 billion years ago. The sun formed at the center of one such cloud with leftover material forming the planets, including Earth. On Earth, the elements forged in stars combined to create water, rocks, and eventually the conditions necessary for life.